When we come back, we're going to meet some interesting young men. They're becoming culinary aficionados, if you will, and they see it as a way to do bigger and better things. And I'll learn to speak English before we come back. Welcome back to the Debrief, everyone. We spotted this story on the New York Times website about 3 young men who are literally cooking their way on to bigger and better things with the help of the Times Neediest Cases Fund. We'll explain it. So I'm going to go through the people that I've invited. This is Luann Blaubor. She is the catering program manager from the Next Generation Center, which has to do with the Children's Aid Society. Did I get that right?
Yes, very good.
Okay. All right. We're going to talk a little bit about the program, and then I'll introduce you to these 3 young men. Luann, tell us about this program that we spotted on the Times and what these young men are doing.
This program is a catering program, and it's basically culinary training. So the young women come with no previous culinary training at all. So they receive training, and then it's an actual catering company that caters events all over New York City. As part of our program, they study for their food protection certification, and recently these 3 young men took their test and received their food protection certification, which is why the article ended up in the Times.
And when you've explained, that's kind of important. You know, people see these reality shows, they see cooking, they see fun, they see foodies, but this is taking the step-by-step process.
This is taking a step-by-step process, and this is a professional cooking program. So these young men are getting professional skills that are translatable out into the greater world.
Greater world. All right. Well, let's start here with Nestor Martinez, 22 years old from the South Bronx. Tell us about your interest in cooking and how this program has helped.
This program actually helped me a lot, and I wasn't really interested in cooking at the time, but when I joined the program, I was like, what? This is so much fun.
What drew you in, do you think?
What drew me in was the fact that one of my friends was originally working there, and then I was like, I guess I'll join and see how it goes from there. And then from there, I was just like, I love it. The cooking, the skills that I learned, everything about it is just fun.
Okay. You said you learned to cook at home, you wanted to earn more money to help your mother out, and you like making blueberry muffins.
Yes, I love those blueberry muffins.
I noticed you didn't bring any today. All right, let's move on to Brandon Colon, who's also from East Harlem, or is from East Harlem, 20 years old. What introduced you to the program? What drew you to the program?
Basically, as Nessa said, we had a friend that was in the program, and he took me into the program as well. And we had also culinary classes that we used to do in the center. So I tried one of the culinary classes, and since I used to work at Domino's, our first lesson was pizza.
Let me talk to Lester Amaya from the South Bronx, 20. What attracted you to the program?
Well, I first came to the program, with no skills at all. And basically, when I heard that, the catering internship actually developed skills, that really caught my attention.
Did you have an earlier interest in cooking already?
Oh, yes, because, around when I was, 12 years old, my mom used to cook all the time, and I would oftentimes watch her, and that often, fascinated me constantly. So then, basically, when I heard that she could teach us everything that she knows, that automatically drew me in.
Well, let me ask all 3 of you, South Bronx, East Harlem, South Bronx, not to characterize a neighborhood, but you don't necessarily think of, rushing to the kitchen to cook and become a culinary expert as high on the list for many people there. But is that the point? Perhaps that's the point. What do you think?
Well, it's something of a developed taste. For me, for example, I actually wanted to try out cooking because, I didn't know how to cook, and the only thing I used to be able to cook were burnt eggs.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I got that one down myself.
Yeah.
Nestor, really, the reaction from your family, others in the neighborhood, to pursuing something like this?
Oh, well, with my family, they looked at me like, hey, Nestor, you know how to cook now? I'm like, yeah, of course I know how to cook. I used to watch cooking show. I used to watch the Emerald Gar on TV when I was bored because I didn't have cable, and they're like, oh, okay.
How important was it to pass this exam? How significant was that for you in terms of achievement?
It made me so happy that I almost cried. And it's really important because that means that I could look for a better job outside of where I'm working at right now.
All right. Well, it's so much more than perhaps pursuing a hobby. This seems like providing a pathway, which is, of course, the idea of the Children's Aid Society and also the Times Neediest Fund cases.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what you were getting at with Nestor is that just even passing the test and getting the certification, just that in and of itself is so important for many reasons, both for getting a better job and just for the satisfaction of, accomplishing something like that.
How do other young people perhaps watching this hear about this kind of get engaged in this program with you?
It's part of the greater employment program at the Next Generation Center. So the first step would be to come to the Next Generation. It is. It's in the South Bronx, yep. So the next step would be to come to the Next Generation Center, join, and become part of the employment program.
Okay. Is there a website?
children'saidsociety.org.
Okay.
And they can, from that website, access the Next Generation Center
All right. Well,
information.
congratulations to all you gentlemen. Next time, I'd like some dishes spread out. I know we sprung this on you last minute, but fine work. All right, keep it up.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back on the debrief, and we're hungry. Yes.